Sloth Uni. These games we just had on Sunday had me hyped. I'm so hyped. My team lost on Thursday, and I'm still excited. I'm still excited. Like, usually, your team lose, and the whole week you're just like, you know what? Let's get our minds right for next week. We can enjoy football, but let's get our minds right. For my team, 0-3, we lost, and this Sunday slate had me hyped. Turned. Man, we had the 12 o'clock slate was crazy. Like, I was skeptical about the 12 o'clock slate at first, and first few quarters it had me a little shook for a lot of these games, for some of these games. But man, those third and fourth quarters, we had 5 fourth quarter late wins, multiple blocked field goals and game-winning drives, multiple upsets. I'm talking literally the entire last maybe 5 minutes of so many of those 12 o'clock game fourth quarters. I had to go to the bathroom so bad. And I was gonna go to the bathroom once the games were essentially over and into the transition into the 3 o'clock game. Had a little bit of, you get a little bit of time to where it's like one game on, maybe two. I just want to take my phone with me into the bathroom and just watch it on my phone on YouTube, Red Zone, or just watch the actual game, whatever. Take my phone in with me. I was stuck in my room because I did not want to leave all my screens. All the games going out. It was wonderful. I did eventually end up going to the bathroom. Thankfully, I had a little bit of time. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take the L. I'm gonna take the L. I'm a break. I brought my laptop in there with me. I'm not gonna brought my laptop, brought my phone. We were still locked in. We were still locked into the games. But yeah, I was like, I'm gonna just have to make it work. Just gonna have to make it work. But yeah, I was struggling, but I was in. Whew, man. Let's get into these games, bro. First off, we got the Falcons and the Panthers. Are the Falcons in trouble? We're gonna start off with that. Are the Falcons in trouble? Because through the first few weeks, Michael Penix hasn't looked like the quarterback that we saw in the last few games of the season, and a lot of people are wondering whether he is the quarterback that a lot of people thought he was. Honestly, I still like him as a quarterback, and I am a little worried, but it's essentially his rookie year. I thought he would get off to a lot hotter of a start, but it's essentially his rookie year, so he's still kind of figuring out the league. I didn't expect him to have the quote unquote rookie woes, but it looks like he is. So it's something that honestly the Falcons are kind of just gonna have to bear with and ride it out. And it'll be interesting to see if they end up making the switch to Kirk Cousins, like how they made the switch from Kirk Cousins to Michael Penix. I doubt they will, but they're paying Kirk Cousins a lot of money to ride the bench, so you never know. But honestly, I feel like a lot of this does have to do with the Panthers defense. The Panthers defense was playing out of their minds this game, and honestly, the first few games, the Panthers defense has been playing pretty solid. A lot of it has been who they're playing, but they've been playing solid. They haven't been playing great out of their mind, but Panthers defense has been playing sneakily good these past few games. I think that the Panthers themselves probably aren't going to be too much of an issue, like in the league-wise, like towards other teams are not going to be too much of an issue in my opinion. I feel like Bryce Young still really hasn't separated himself into being even like an above average to great quarterback. I think he's still kind of like in the middle, if not even like a below average. He's okay. He's definitely a lot better from when he started, but when his rookie year was horrible. And he's shown a lot. He's shown a lot of growth since then, but he's definitely not lived up to his draft caliber at all. T-Mac, Tyrod McMillan has changed this offense a lot. And even just last year, they had so many wide receivers that they could throw the ball around to. But it still, I don't think that Bryce Young is the answer. And the Panthers, they're probably going to be picking in the top 12 again next year, unfortunately for Panthers fans. But back to the Falcons, I still have hope for the Falcons season long, but they're gonna have to figure out some things on offense in order to help Michael Penix out, because their offensive line woes are definitely hurting the team right now. And Michael Penix he's not helping, really, to be honest. He's not playing his best football, and I do think better football is ahead for Michael Penix. I would say, if anything, be patient. And I know it's hard to be patient, but they do have a bye week coming up. They'll probably get a week. They'll probably look at all the things that they can actually do to kind of change the offense and see where they go from there. I think after the bye week, they'll probably look like a lot different of a team. But until then, their bye week is week 5. But until then, they got to figure something out. They got to figure out a way to maximize all of their weapons capability, because they have a lot of weapons on this offense between Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Darnell Mooney, who is a guy, honestly. He's very slept on, but he's a sneakily good wide receiver. They've got Kyle Pitts. They have a lot of pieces, and their defense is really solid, but I think they'll figure it out to where they can maybe make a late push to get into the playoffs, but they're definitely starting off a lot slower than what I thought they were. The Steelers, oh my goodness. The Steelers and the Patriots were having a clown off. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, Aaron Rodgers used up all his powers in week 1 against the Jets, and he said he was done after that. Because, bro, his age is showing, and this Steelers offense looks bad. And if you look at the next gen stats on their wide receivers routes run, it also looks bad. I don't know if it's Arthur Smith, or if it's just the way they're running things for Aaron Rodgers' capabilities as of right now, for what he can and can't do. Maybe it's a little bit of both. But the Steelers definitely aren't as good of a team as I initially thought they were in their first few weeks. Their defense has not been great. Their defense it was supposed to be a strong suit of the year, and the defense hasn't been great all year. They made a few plays this week, but again, it's against the Patriots, who we're going to talk about him literally a little bit. But Drake May, while he has gotten better, he's still not an elite quarterback. But the Steelers, honestly, they'll probably end up finishing second in division. Maybe, honestly. You got to watch out for them Browns, man. But I don't know how far Aaron Rodgers can take this team. Between his health and his play on the field, and the Steelers defense, which was supposed to be the unit that kind of like carried this team and made things easier for Aaron Rodgers, they're not looking like they're going to be elite. So that'll be something to watch out for. Drake May, he's gotten a lot better since his rookie year. He's made a jump from his freshman year to his sophomore year, but he still hasn't really taken a leap into being a great quarterback yet. And I honestly, I feel like he's taking the steps in the right direction. He's getting better, so it's not like he's just a wash at quarterback. He still does have a lot of things to clean up, but so far I'm liking what I'm seeing. They did lose the game. They did make a mistake late. They had a lot of turnovers throughout the game, but I think the Patriots might have something in Drake May, but he definitely has to clean a lot of things up. And they definitely got to get this guy some help on the wide receiver end, because while they do have a lot of guys, they don't really have that dude at wide receiver or any like real stud at wide receiver to kind of help out your young quarterback. Speaking of turnovers, both of their running backs have fumbling issues. it's going to lead towards TreVeyon Henderson kind of getting his shot at running back because their head coach does not play around. Like, Mike Vrabel is not one to play around with fumbles at all. And you've got a guy in Antonio Gibson and Ramondre Stevenson who have had fumbling issues in the past, and they both their fumbling issues reared their heads in this game, and it definitely made the difference in a win or loss in this game. And you know Mike Vrabel is taking a look at that and circling it in his notes in terms of TreVeyon Henderson getting his shot at the lead role in this backfield. I don't know when it'll happen, but at this rate, I definitely do think that it'll be sooner rather than later, especially with how TreVeyon Henderson has flashed in the past games. And yes, Ramondre did have a really good game last week, but it was against arguably the worst defense in the league. Like, the Miami Dolphins, their defense has been struggling very badly, and it's whoever offense on Miami. So I'm not surprised that Ramondre had a really good game against Miami, and I'm not surprised that he didn't have a great game against the Steelers, who do have a better defense than Miami, albeit not that great of a defense as of right now. They did make plays, so I can't really just beat them up all the way. And their cornerback unit is a little hurt, or their DB unit, I should say, is a little hurt, but still. This unit on paper was literally stacked top to bottom, and they're definitely not playing up to their potential at all. Speaking of playing up to their potential, the Colts are playing above their potential. Like, the Colts, a lot of people were talking about the Colts being a very serious team and possibly winning the division. I thought that they were going to be better than what a lot of people thought, but I didn't think they were going to be this good. I did say before the season, and some of my players to watch out for, Daniel Jones was probably going to have a career year. And the X factor that really hit it off was JT's revival. Not to say that JT in the previous years hasn't been good, but he definitely wasn't the running back that we saw in the first 2 years of his career. And it looks like he's finally past all the health issues. And Jonathan Taylor, honestly, before the injuries, Jonathan Taylor was being talked about as possibly the best running back in the league, over CMC, over Derrick Henry. And it's looking like, honestly, he could be the best running back in the league again over both of these guys. So they've got Jonathan Taylor back there, who quite literally changes the entire aspect of how a defense plays you. And it's making things so much easier for Daniel Jones, who can pick a defense apart when he has a running back like that in his backfield. You saw it on the Giants with Saquon Barkley, but the only difference is he didn't have the weapons that he does now on the Colts, and that's what made me think he was going to have a career year. He's got Michael Pittman, he's got Alec Pierce, he's got Tyler Warren, he's got Josh Downs. They've got a bunch of guys that they can get the ball to, and guys who can get open, and guys who are going to abuse matchups. They're going to abuse the matchups that they get because Jonathan Taylor takes away so much attention from the defense. And teams have to be on alert at all times because Jonathan Taylor can do Jonathan Taylor things. That touchdown run that he had, you know which one I'm talking about. You know which one I'm talking about. I was watching that and I was like, oh man, at least 4 times during this. So literally, this was my exact reaction. Oh man, that was a great run, but they got him. Oh wow, that's a really good run, but he's going down right. Oh wow, he broke that tackle, but oh man, there's a guy chasing him. Doesn't freaking matter. Holy crap, bro! Like, this guy, Jonathan Taylor, is built different. Like, he is, and he's still very young. He could honestly end up literally by the end of the season. I think he'll be regarded as the best running back in the league by the end of the year. He was on that track earlier in his career, and it kind of got derailed by injuries. He came back, was still really good, but wasn't that guy. And it's looking like he's that dude again. On the Titans side, Titans got dismantled. Like, in every phase of the game, the Titans just got dismantled. But honestly, Cam Ward is showing the flashes that I thought he was going to show. In college, he looked like a very good quarterback, and he has all the talent in the world. Like you can tell he's on a bad team. They don't have weapons. Like they were in position to pick him for a reason. So he's on a very bad football team. It's his rookie year. He gets every pass in the world for bad football play. Honestly, in my opinion, he's a rookie on a bad football team. It's not much to say about that, but he does look like he could literally be the future of this franchise. They just have to build the pieces around him. They got to get rid of their head coach. The Callahan experiment is over, in my opinion. I think that they number one need a head coach. Get this guy some serious weapons. Speaking of weapons, Elic Ayomanor. Ayomanor. I don't know how to say his name. I've been watching this guy's film since before the draft. Loved him coming into. He was looking like one of the best wide receivers, or one of the better wide receivers in that draft class. And being drafted to the Titans, the only real threat for competition was Calvin Ridley, who looks like he's struggling. So honestly, Elic really might end the season as their leading target, catches, and yards, and possibly even touchdowns at this point. He might even, I think halfway through the season, he'll literally just transition into being the bona fide number one. And they could be a duo to really kind of not take over the league, but they'll be a duo that will be forceful in the league, I think, for years to come. Unless they get a real bona fide wide receiver to pair with him, which they should. I don't care if you have a rookie who looks like he's kind of turning into a guy. You should always just grab. You have a young quarterback. He's on a rookie deal. Go take advantage of that. A lot of teams really don't take advantage of that rookie scale contract, and whenever they pay the guy, they have to get rid of all the pieces that kind of got the guy that contract, and it shows. So I'm ready to see what the Titans do in the future with Cam Ward and this offense, but it starts at the head coach, because I don't know if you saw Michael Pittman's his post-game interview, and he was literally just like, in pregame, literally in warm-ups, we saw that these guys were literally just jogging around. Not even jogging, they were walking around. There was no energy, and the Colts were looking at each other like, oh yeah, these guys, they don't want to play a football game today. And it looked like they didn't want to play a football game today. And that's 100% on the head coach. And I feel like Brian Callahan he was given a short straw, but he hasn't really done anything to prove that all of the Titans' woes are not also his fault. He does have a hand in all the struggles that the Titans have. So he was dealt a bad hand, but he's not making any moves with this hand. Like, he was dealt. You can be dealt the bad hand and still kind of make some moves. You can make moves with the bad hand. You can make moves. He's not making no moves. He got a bad hand and he's making bad moves. So I think he could be a candidate for being fired in season. I don't think there's a lot of coaches that will get fired this season in season, but Brian Callahan could be one of them. On to the Packers game. The Packers got upset. I don't think anybody had this on their Sunday bingo card. No. If you put money on the Browns, send me that ticket. Send me that slip. If you put money on the Browns, send me that slip. I want to see proof, because I want to know, one, I want to know how much you put on it, because depending on how much you put on it, I have a number for you to call. Hold on. Just 1 second. Here we go. So it is 1-800-522 4700. It's the gambler prevention hotline. If you put more than $50 on the Browns to win this game, call that number. I don't care if your slip hit. I don't care if your slip hit. Listen, good picks, bro. Good picks, bro. But you don't need to be gambling, man. You don't need to be gambling, man. I'm sorry. But if you put more than $50 on the Browns to beat the Packers and you're not a Browns fan, you need to call that number ASAP. ASAP. Or I need your sauce. Because what is the thought process behind this? I need to know. I need to know because it's crazy. The Packers, I'm not gonna lie. Listen, they got. The Packers got. Teams have, at least I'll say, great teams. A lot of them have L's like this, just scattered throughout their season. It'll be one or two maybe throughout the season. And the Packers got. I'm still not worried about the Packers season long. I think they're still a very good football team and a very great football team at that. I still think they're going to be contenders very late in the NFC. They probably could make the NFC Championship game if they play the cards right. But they actually got. The team still, they played a bad game. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to just chalk it all up to they played a bad game. The Browns played a hell of a football game. We're going to get into them later. But Matthew Golden looks like he's finally starting to heat up. First few weeks, he had a few catches that were literally just this close of turning him into a very early, like a flaming hot candidate, but things didn't go his way. But they're finally starting to heat up for him. Him and Jordan Love are starting to click a little bit more. And with the injury to Jordan Reed, or Jaden Reed, I should say. I said Jordan Reed. Shout out Jordan Reed. If you know who Jordan Reed is, shout out to you, man. That's a little throwback. But with the injury to Jaden Reed, they are missing that really, I don't even want to say explosive guy, but they're missing a wide receiver like Jaden Reed, and that is literally Matthew Golden. But I was gonna say a speedster, or an all-around guy, but almost all of their wide receivers are all-around guys. Like, they have a really good wide receiver group. And what makes it so hard for teams to defend them is that you literally have to defend everybody. And it's very similar to the Bills. But the Browns defense are looking like some dudes. Like, the Browns draft in general was amazing. Nothing short of amazing. The only thing that, in my opinion, that the Browns are missing is a quarterback. And this is how you build teams before you get your guy. I don't care if Shadur Sanders is the guy. I don't care if Dylan Gabriel is the guy, or some guy that they have yet to draft. But whoever comes into this team is going to be coming into a great situation. The defense is phenomenal. They've got weapons at wide receiver between Cedric Tillman, Jerry Jeudy. They got David Njoku unless they trade him. But if they do trade him, they still have Harold Fannin. They play a lot of 12 personnel, so both of those guys are out on the field anyway. Isaiah Bond is looking like he's starting to develop a role. They've got Quinshon Judkins. Dear Lord. Their offensive line is solid. It's not great, it's solid. But the Browns are a team who, it looks like they're building up to, whenever they get their quarterback, they're going to be a team to look out for. Because Kevin Stefanski is a great coach. And he's a man who's been dealt a bad hand and is literally making so many plays with this hand. And every year, just like, wow, this guy just like, he finds a way. He just finds a way. And the Browns, honestly, even in low-scoring games, in my opinion, they're a fun team to watch because they win at so many levels of the football. And not even just talking levels of defense and offense. I'm talking about They win at offense. They win in defense. They win in special teams. They make plays where they need to in order to win football games. And yes, this is their first win of the season. But their offense is the only thing that's really holding them back from being a great football team. And the only thing that's, in my opinion, that's really holding this offense back is the fact that they have a decrepit Joe Flacco. Like, Joe Flacco can still spin it a bit, but his age shows. But like I said, whenever the Browns actually get a quarterback, they're gonna be a team to watch out for. Very, very serious. Eagles comeback, baby. Hey, raise your hand if you had the Eagles left for dead. I'm not gonna lie, I thought the Eagles were out of this. I thought the Eagles were done. Like, their offense looked good. Their offense looked bad in the first half. Like, their offense looked bad. Listen, again, I'm not talking about like, damn, bad, she bad. No, not Michael Jackson bad. No. B-A-D, bad. Garbaggio. But in the second half, A.J. Brown turned into A.J. Brown just turned into, I don't know if you played, if any of you guys play Madden, that aggressive catch, not even aggressive catch, he turned into that 1 year when that ability double me was just crazy. Oh my goodness. It was it double me? It was I think it was double me. Something, man. It was AJ Brown was playing like a manimal. That's the easiest way to explain it. This guy was literally bodying all of the defenders that they put on him in disgusting ways. And Jalen Hurts really stepped up to the plate. I was scared for the Eagles passing game this year because it literally, I know that they weren't passing because they hadn't needed to pass. But you can and you can't run an offense like that, because in the first half we saw what happens when you literally just refuse to pass the ball. Your team gets rusty. You start losing the connections. And in the first half it showed. They didn't really have the rapport because for 3 straight weeks after an entire offseason, they really hadn't been passing the ball like that, and it showed. But you have to have games like this. You have to continue to actually pass the ball to keep that rapport going and to keep that connection going and timing. But man, AJ Brown really shut up a lot of people. I was not in on the boat, I should say, of the people who were on the AJ Brown shit train. I had a feeling AJ Brown was gonna have a game this week. I took his receptions on a bet, and it was 4.5. That was free. Come on now. It's AJ Brown against the Rams. They were gonna be forced to pass. Like at the very least, I knew that the Eagles were going to be forced to pass this game because you can't guard Puka Nacua, and then Devontae Adams is across from him. So even if you try to double up Puka Nacua, you're going to leave Devontae Adams in single coverage? No. And then if you try to handle them, Kyron Williams and Blake Corum are back there. This Rams team is nasty, filthy. This was a team. This was a game between 2 really good football teams who I think could also be playing each other in the playoffs further down the line. The Rams finally got the run game going. In the first few weeks, Kyron Williams was kind of plodding around. But if you look at his past 2 years really, he started the season slow. And literally the first 2 games, I don't think, if my memory serves correctly, he didn't have a single over 4 yards of carry. At this point, the past 3 years, for the first 2 games, he didn't have a single game over 4 yards of carry. But they finally got him going. Blake Corum is looking like he definitely needs more snaps, and they are going to get him more involved. But Kyron Williams is the guy in his backfield. But man, Puka Nacua is somebody who needs a lot more respect. I always see people talking about best wide receivers in the league. It's always, Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. Why never Puka Nacua? For all the hype and all the greatness that Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson had in their rookie years, Puka Nacua had a better rookie year than the both of them. Like, I'm one of the people who I thought Puka Nacua should have won Rookie of the Year. I don't care what type of year CJ Stroud had. Mind you, that CJ Stroud season is overhyped. Yeah, I'm a CJ Stroud supporter, by the way. I like CJ Stroud. You can check the receipts. You can literally go to my Twitter handle and just search up CJ Stroud and you'll see the glaze. Even though I'm about to get on him a little bit. But Puka Nacua had the greatest rookie wide receiver season ever. After we just saw what Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson just did. And he had better seasons than that. Like, are you kidding me? CJ Stroud didn't even have the best QB rookie season. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, he had the best QB rookie season. And then Jaden Daniels had a better QB rookie season. Neither one of them had the best QB rookie season. Did we just forget what Justin Herbert did in his rookie year, where he had 4,600 total yards and 36 total touchdowns? Because neither one of those rookies came close to his yardage or touchdown. Do we forget that happened? Puka Nacua needs some freaking respect. But let's talk about this Commanders, Raiders, just cooking it. I was not expecting the Commanders to come out like this. In the deep depths of my bowels and gut, I had a feeling that Marcus Mariota, shout out guy, was going to have a good game, because when we've seen him come in to relieve people, he's shown out. But the Commanders really put it on the Raiders. Like, wow. Like, this was a complete domination of a game between this and the Falcons. And one of the games that we're going to talk about after this. Good Lord. There were a few games where it was just like, oh my goodness, this is complete domination from start to finish. Shout out Marcus Mariota. But the Commanders as a whole are just a really good football team. And they play really good team football. Terry McLaurin looks like he's really starting to come into the season. He missed almost the entire offseason, or he missed the entire offseason. Didn't play any camp. Didn't play preseason. I need some water. Oh my goodness. Didn't play any preseason. Didn't play any camp. And whenever guys have that, they usually start slow, because you can't just go into week one to start balling out. You need to ramp up towards the season. It looks like he's finally ramping up. He had a near touchdown where he got literally stopped at the 1 yard line, but he had a really good game. Also, all the people who are talking about Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt, Bill, shout out Bill. He had a big old Bill chain with the Sean Taylor jersey. But anybody that's worried about him not getting carries, listen, he has an old school. He's a seventh. Listen. Look at me. Look at me. Mira mi mijo. Escúchame. He is a 7th round rookie with an old school head coach. These coaches, especially old school head coaches, they want these rookies to really earn their spot over the veterans. So he has to work his way up. He's gonna get his shot. Like, Bill Crosky-Merritt will eventually be the lead guy in this backfield, but it wasn't gonna happen overnight. Look at all the people who are taking victory laps at Jahmyr Gibbs in his rookie year. Jahmyr Gibbs was getting almost no PT. He was getting almost no PT in his rookie year for the first 4 to 5 games. Until they were like, okay, you've made enough plays. It's time to start upping your PT. And then he actually developed a real role in the offense. I think the same thing is going to happen with Bill. You just got to be patient. It's not going to happen overnight. These old school head coaches are like, you got to earn it, rookie. They're like, we've got these guys who've been in the league for a while. They've been waiting on their shot. We're gonna give them their shot. And until then, you just keep doing your thing, and maybe you'll get your shot too. Maybe you'll get your shot too. He's gonna get his shot. Don't worry. He's been steady. He's been good. Speaking of rookies who aren't really living up to the hype, Ashton Jeanty. If you are on the boat of Ashton Jeanty is looking like a bust, you don't know ball. I'm sorry. There was I'm not going to say Ryan Clark doesn't know ball, because I don't even know why he said this comment, because it makes no sense. Because are you watching the games? He said that Ashton Jeanty looked like he didn't have the X factor, but yes, in the stats, he doesn't have great stats. But if you're watching the games, he looks like the guy they drafted. But their offensive line is laughably bad. And it's hard to get things going when you're always down. Your offense is not always on schedule. Literally last week, Geno Smith threw for 3 or 4 interceptions. Shout out Geno Smith, bounce back game this week. Also, shout out Trey Tucker, had a crazy game. But I'm not worried about Ashton Jeanty. And if anything, if you play fantasy football and the Ashton Jeanty owner is getting weak hands and is looking to sell, buy. Because usually rookie running backs do tend to start off the season slower. And in the second half of the season, that's when you start to see rookie running backs kind of take over. But I think that better days are 1,000% ahead for Ashton Jeanty. He looks like the player that we all assumed he was. He just doesn't have the stats to back it up yet. With this Texans-Jaguars game, oh my goodness, they were having a mid-off. The Steelers-Patriots were having a clown-off, and the Texans-Jaguars were just having a mid-off. The C.J. Stroud hype was getting a little out of hand. I was one of the first people to say it. Literally after his rookie year, people were saying this man is top 5. I said, whoa, pump the brakes. I love me some CJ Stroud, but one, his rookie season wasn't even that crazy. It wasn't like he had a good rookie season, but statistically it was not that crazy. And after that, they really haven't really done anything. And people are saying, oh, CJ Stroud fell off. Hold on. Fell off from where? Statistically, last year, he had a very similar year. Pretty similar enough to his rookie season. And 2, his offensive line is abysmal. Their offensive line is going to be the reason why some people might lose their jobs. It's really bad. It's honestly, in my opinion, their offensive line is worse this year than it was last year. And last year, it was the problem. And this year, it is again the problem. It's again the problem. But there's a lot of play calling issues, and it's looking wicked for the Texans. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like the Texans are starting off 0-3, and I don't think that they're gonna be able to climb themselves out of this hole. It's going to be really tough, especially they have no O-line. Offense really looks like it's not clicking at all. They have little to no run game. Nick Chubb is doing his best, but they really haven't been giving him too many opportunities. So it's rough out there for a Texans fan, man. CJ Stroud can only do so much, and he's not going to just will this team to victory. He tried, but their defense let him down. The Jaguars, they are also that's what makes this game that the Texans struggled in so disappointing, because the Jaguars are not good. Like, you know, I'm tired of people hyping up Trevor Lawrence. You want to talk about CJ Stroud was overrated, but CJ Stroud is still a good quarterback. Like I know I said like, oh, CJ Stroud is overrated, but CJ Stroud is still a good quarterback. People were just saying he's top 5. Relax on that. He's still a good quarterback, but he's not top 5, in my humble opinion. Now Trevor Lawrence, I've never liked I've never liked Trevor Lawrence, and honestly, the things that people say about Tua Tagovailoa and the quarterback that people think Tua Tagovailoa is, that's who Trevor Lawrence is. Like, all the things that people say about the Tua contract, Trevor Lawrence contract. And it's crazier because Trevor Lawrence has had more weapons his entire career. I say entire career because, yes, Tua has had Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, which is arguably better than what the Jaguars have. But starting off his career, Trevor Lawrence did have more weapons. Year 1 was a little bit of a wash, but year 2, he was off and running with the weapons wise. But Trevor Lawrence is, I've seen enough. He's not a good quarterback. I've seen enough out of Trevor Lawrence. Like, the Jaguars made a mistake paying him. They made a mistake paying him. I never thought that the contract made sense. Yes, I get it that he showed you enough to want to pay him, but I feel like nowadays teams, Dolphins included, are being a little too hasty paying these quarterbacks when they could have just used the franchise tag instead. Like, look at what the Ravens did with Lamar Jackson. And now they're a better team for it. Like, there's nothing wrong with using the system in place. Yes, the players hate the franchise tag, but it's there. So if it's there, use it. Who cares what the media says? Who cares what the fans say? Like, just you need to do what's for the betterment of your team at the end of the day. And being too hasty with paying these guys almost 1/3 of your cap space when a lot of these guys aren't the quarterback who's going to be able to carry a team that is going to be strapped with cap situation because of them, it's putting them in bad positions. But the Jaguar, there's one glowing spot on the Jaguars, really two. Their running game, Travis Etienne, welcome back. He finally looks healthy. And Bashal Tootin, whatever. Toot. Both of them look like some guys. They can see now if they get their running game going and lean on their running backs, they can go somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know how far they're gonna go. I think the farthest is maybe the playoffs. But they're gonna need to stop trying to lean on Trevor Lawrence to be that guy and just say, you know what, we're just gonna go through our running backs. Because your running backs can take you places, Jacksonville. Your running backs can take you places. Trevor Lawrence, not so much. Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter are struggling. I think that they can get it. Back together, but with the way Trevor Lawrence is playing, I don't know. It'll be tough. I was a little low on the both of them because they will take targets away from each other, and their quarterback is not that good. The one hope that I had was Liam Cohen kind of bringing a better offensive scheme into this team. But in my opinion, from what I've seen, he doesn't look like a great head coach. Still early. It's week 3. He's a first-time head coach on a new team, so it's still very early. But so far, he hasn't looked like a great head coach. But their defense, just like the Panthers, they really haven't played too much competition. But unlike the Panthers, the Jaguars' defense over the past few games really has looked like really good. And I'm going to be interested to see how they do these next 4 to 5 weeks because their schedule does toughen up. So if the Jaguars defense does really good these next few weeks against a higher level of competition, they could really challenge the Colts for this division if their defense is legit and they lean on their run game. It could take them places. And I think they need to stop trying to funnel things. I know you're paying them the big bucks, but stop trying to funnel things through Trevor Lawrence. I've seen enough from that guy. I've seen enough. Speaking of playing defense and running the ball, the Vikings. Oh my God. Skull! Boy, I'll tell you. Man, the Vikings are serious. The only thing that's holding them back is the quarterback situation. Now, their defense is better than ever. Like, their defense was already elite the past 2 years, and it's just gotten better each and every year that these players are under Brian Flores's defense, like in his scheme. I've said it multiple times, and I'm gonna say it again. I don't care what you say about Brian Flores as a head coach. Right now, he's not a head coach. I feel like I don't know him personally, so I don't know if he's really like learned anything from his time off of being a head coach. If he has, he could probably be a really good head coach again. He is in a current lawsuit with NFL, so he's not going to be a head coach in my opinion until that lawsuit is over with. But while he's the defense coordinator, and just in general, Brian Flores is one of the greatest minds I have ever seen in football. And it continues to be true. He literally got a job because of his defensive scheme and his defensive play. Not like he was on the field, but the way his defense was playing and the defensive scheme in the Super Bowl against arguably the best offense in the league that year. He got a head coaching job because of that. And the defense in Miami was crazy under him. Very good. And the defense on the Vikings has continuously gotten better each and every year that these players are under him. And they finally got pieces this year to really like put that defense over the top, and they're playing lights out. This defense is serious. And if they can get JJ McCarthy to take a step later into the season while he develops and kind of figures out the league, they could go places. The Vikings are my dark horse to they can make the Super Bowl, but JJ McCarthy has to make the steps in order to take this team to that next level. I think that Carson Wentz probably won't be able to do it for them from what I saw. Carson Wentz, while he is an upgrade from JJ McCarthy right now, he's not the guy to lead them over there. I think that JJ, while he has struggled, he's shown me enough to believe that he can get it together in this season and be able to get this team to go on a run. And they could be serious, especially with Jordan Mason back there running the football. Aaron Jones is out. Jordan Mason got all the work. And Jordan Mason looked like he looked like he was really nice on the 49ers. And he's kept it going on the Vikings. And as long as he's getting all the work, they're going to be even when they get Aaron Jones back. Jordan Mason is still a good runner of the football. Aaron Jones is a really good pass catcher. So they've got a good running back tandem to kind of lean on. Speaking of the Bengals, it's just one thing after another with the Bengals. Joe Burrow's injury kind of just set this team back this season so much because more than half of your cap is 3 guys, and one of those guys just went down. Or really 4 guys, I should say, but one of those guys went down. And the other 2 guys don't have anybody to get them the ball because the main guy that you paid got injured because your offensive line is not that great. This is what happens when you pay 2 wide receivers and a quarterback like they're the best at their position. Now, while all of them did deserve to get paid, they shouldn't have paid T. Higgins. They shouldn't have paid T. Higgins. T. Higgins would have gotten paid somewhere else. They shouldn't have paid T. Higgins. Like, yes, you didn't want to break up the trio, but this is why you don't do these things. Your team is struggling because of it. And Jake Browning isn't this bad of a quarterback. He had, I believe, 3 picks. He isn't that bad of a quarterback. He had a lot of success the last time Joe Burrow went out. He just played a mean defense. But this just shows you that Jake Browning won't be able to take this team anywhere. And hopefully Joe Burrow heals up quick. But it's been injury after injury after injury with Joe Burrow. And I just hope that the Bengals can get their offensive line together, because we saw a quarterback on the Colts who was getting beat up behind a bad O-line, and he had to retire because of it. Andrew Luck, literally I don't care what anybody says, he was one of the most talented quarterbacks to ever play this game. And Joe Burrow is extremely talented, but you wonder how much more of a beating he can take before he's finally just like, this is enough. Because people forget that these people are human. Like, it's not like he can just like come back from injury and like, oh, he's brand new. Like, no, a lot of these football players are literally struggling in their everyday lives. Just not even post football. Like current players are struggling in their everyday lives, just living regular lives because of all the injuries that they sustain. And it's not something you really think about because you don't see their everyday lives. But it's tough. It's tough. I'm praying for Joe Burrow. I hope that he makes a full recovery. I hope that the Bengals can really get things together. But the decisions they've made show that they're more worried about just being flashy instead of actually winning football games. The Bucks Jets was a game that I was not expecting to be this close. Nope. Like it really wasn't even close majority of the game, or at least like 50% of the game was close. Started off being kind of close, then the Bucks started to take over and they started building a lead. They just come back out of nowhere. Jets just come back out of nowhere, and they end up taking the lead. They end up taking the lead late game off of a crazy play. And then, mind you, Mike Evans got hurt. It looks like it's a pretty mean hamstring injury. Praying for Mike Evans. Fast recovery, brother. But Emeka Egbuka is a dog. And Baker Mayfield led a crazy late game drive just to seal out the victory. And the Bucks are surging. The Bucks are one team who I didn't think would start off this hot considering the injuries that they had. But they looking like they haven't missed a beat. And Emeka Egbuka. I feel like I said it right 3 times, but I just wanted to make sure. He's looking like easily the best wide receiver on this team, even with Mike Evans being healthy on that team. And honestly, like, aside from JSN, he might be the best wide receiver to come out of Ohio State. Between him, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, JSN. Aside from JSN is looking like a baller. Olave and Garrett Wilson both said that JSN was that guy, and that they both admitted that JSN was better than them. But Emeka was like kind of he was the ugly duckling to a lot of people. But I mean, watching his college film, there was really no holes in his game. Like, he looked pro ready in college, and it's showing that he definitely was pro ready, 100%. Like 1,000%. He was ready. He was ready for the pros. All right. Like, Emeka's been balling out, and he's looking like he might win Rookie of the Year, low key. I gotta think that there might be a few people that might win. I'm off the top of my dome. That maybe QJ, maybe Scutterbo, but Emeka. I wonder what those odds are, man. I wonder what those odds are. The Jets are they're just. If you're a Jets fan, do you want Tyrod Taylor starting or Justin Fields? Like, do you want your starting quarterback to start or do you want Tyrod Taylor? Because so far, excluding week 1, because week 1 was just like, week 1 between the Jets and the Steelers was clearly an anomaly. That was clearly an outlier. The team looks a little bit better with Tyrod Taylor starting. And they got a difficult game coming against Miami. And Justin Fields, if he's cleared to play, he'll more than likely start. But you kind of think that maybe they should start Tyrod. Maybe they should start Tyrod. My goodness, my throat's getting a little dry. Been talking for, I believe it's been an hour. But, man, the Buccaneers are somebody who I think, unless the Falcons can kind of heat it up, they're going to win a division. Who knows how much noise they can make in the playoffs? It depends on if they can get Mike Evans back healthy and Chris Godwin back healthy. Because if they have Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Emeka, that's a scary offense to guard. And then they got 2 good running backs back there in the backfield to try to stop. This team could make some noise. The NFC, maybe like 3-4 years back, had almost no teams. Super weak conference. AFC was looking stacked. NFC was looking sweet. And now the NFC is about it again. Like it's kind of balanced out, man. Like it's good to see good football teams in the league. The Saints Seahawks was another beatdown. I'm talking like from first quarter on, like Saints had no chance. The Seahawks are looking like some dudes. They were looking like some dudes last year. And they're looking like some dudes again this year. I still don't believe that they're really going to go anywhere in the postseason. But regular season wise, they're going to be serious. Their defense is really the highlight of the show because their defense is elite all the way through. Like, the Seahawks defense is part of the reason why they've had so much success and their run game. But shout out Sam Darnold, because he's getting the ball to these receivers and he's making the plays that he needs to. But the Seahawks are, in my opinion, depending on who they play, first round exits. But they're gonna be a hard out or they're gonna be a hard team to play just during the regular season. And they're a fun team to watch. Also, low-key, Torrey Horton is a guy to watch out for. His college film looked good. He passed the eye test in college. And he's passing the eye test in the NFL. The only thing ahead of him is Cooper Kupp, but he's been making plays these past few weeks between catching touchdowns the past 2 weeks and returning a punt for a touchdown. Shout out, man. The Saints, this guy Kellen Moore has Spencer Rattler gunslinging. Like, I'm here for it, honestly. Between Juwan Johnson, Chris Olave, listen, give these guys all the targets. Give them all the targets. But I wonder how long they can like keep this up. I mean, they're gonna be down in a lot of games, so probably a lot, honestly. I thought it was gonna stop, but I thought it was gonna balance out a little bit. But yeah, he's just passing the ball. Their offensive scheme is solid, but they're missing a really good quarterback. In my opinion, I'll be down to run it back again with Kellen Moore. Let him choose an actual quarterback in the first round of draft and let him build this offense. But as of right now, the Saints are going to be bad. They're going to be bad. They're probably going to be top 5 big bad. Like, yeah. Chargers. 3 straight division wins. Three. Let me say that again. They're 3-0. Stay with me now. Are you with me? Stay with me now. The Chargers are 3-0. I'm going to repeat that. The Chargers are 3-0. But if you miss what I just said, they're 3-0, and they've had 3 straight division wins. Who's got it better than us? Jim Harbaugh has these boys playing, man. If you were a doubter of the Chargers, I wonder what anybody has to say about them now, because they look like they're going to be an extremely hard team to beat in the playoffs. Their defense looks great. Their offense is better than ever. The biggest thing that was missing from their offense this past season was playmakers. Quentin Johnston is breaking out, and a lot of people kind of left him for dead after his first rookie year. It was very disappointing. Second year, he kind of turned it up a little bit, and we were like, okay, Quentin Johnston is alive, and they're making it work. Year 3 is, oh my goodness, Quentin Johnston, like, yes, he's benefiting off of having Ladd McConkey and Keenan Allen taking up those short to intermediate routes, and it's hard for teams to defend over the top when they have to worry about those 2 guys down there just always getting open. But Quentin Johnston has taken full advantage of the way they're using him, the way teams are defending him, and he's a very talented wide receiver, and I'm glad that he's finally I'm glad to see a player used in a way that maximizes their capabilities, especially in pairing with the wide receivers on that team. It's very hard to defend the Chargers right now because, one, they can run the football, and they can pass at all 3 levels. All 3 of their guys can get open. Like, Ladd McConkey can damn near get open at will. Keenan Allen is resurged fully. It's not even like he missed a step on the Bears. He was still pretty solid on the Bears. They just weren't able to get him the football, really. And Quentin Johnston is looking like the best wide receiver out of the 3. We just listed off Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen, and Quentin Johnston is arguably the better wide receiver of all 3 of them, or the most productive, I should say. But Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert's connection hasn't missed a beat at all. And it's unfortunately, if you drafted Ladd McConkey, he looks like the third man, the odd man out, but it's just because if you're looking short to intermediate, the Keenan Allen connection is just it's undefeated with him and Justin Herbert. Like, he's Justin Herbert's original guy. And then if you're going deep, the big play is Quentin Johnston. So it's kind of just like, where does that leave Ladd McConkey? Well, I mean, it bounces between him and Keenan, but it's looking like Keenan is going to be, between those 2, the number 1 option that they go with this offense. But it's hard to defend them because you can't guard all 3 of them, but you have to. you can't leave one of them open. So you have to, at that point, you have to pressure Justin Herbert enough to not even give him enough time to read the field. And how are you going to do that if their offensive line is playing like the dudes that they are? This is going to be a hard team to beat. Very, very hard team to beat, especially because Najee Harris did just tear his Achilles, and they don't have 2 running backs, but Amari Hampton is looking like the guy that they drafted him to be. He did fumble, and I thought that Najee was going to get a little bit more attention to this offense, but they kept rolling with Amari Hampton. Even before the Najee injury, Najee was getting runs, but they were still rocking with Amari Hampton as the lead guy. And they're giving him the lead. They're giving him a full workload now, and he looks really nice. So they getting their running game going. Their passing game is still just crazy. So it'll be hard to beat this team. I keep saying it, but I think the Chargers could make it to the Super Bowl. I think they can make it to the Super Bowl. They've got a great coach who can lead these guys there. Quarterback is talented as all hell, and they've got talent at all levels of offense, and their defense is playing out of their minds. Their defense is making the stops when they need to make stops. They're not the most in your face, highlights all over the place defense, but they've just got a sturdy group of guys. They got a sturdy group of guys on defense, man. The Broncos and Bo Nix are kind of having a sophomore slump. I'm not 100% sold on the Bo Nix sophomore slump. While I do think that he is struggling right now, it's too early to tell. It's week 3. Last year in his rookie season, he did start off slow, and then towards the end of the season, he did start to heat up. So maybe we will see that again this year. Like you can't just say, oh, the Broncos are out of it because Bo Nix is gonna have for sure a sophomore slump. Some players literally just play better in the second half of the season. It is what it is. Maybe Bo Nix is one of those players. Maybe he just starts off the season slow and has to ramp up. I'm not completely out on the Broncos, considering they have been getting better. Shout out J.K. Dobbins, though, because J.K. Dobbins has found himself a spot on this Broncos team, and that's one thing on their offense that I think they should lean more into. Regardless of if Bo Nix starts heating up or not, I think that you should lean more into this run game because you found something with J.K. Dobbins, and he is having immense success, and just lean more into him. Whether you got to give RJ Harvey some more carries too to kind of balance it out, make sure both guys stay healthy. I think they should lean more into their run game and give Bo Nix some much needed support until they kind of get things together on the passing side. But the Bears finally get their first win, man. Ben Johnson's first win as a head coach. And I think it'll be much more to come. Maybe they'll trade DJ Moore. For fantasy, you hope they trade DJ Moore, but I mean, they've got a great trio of wide receivers regardless between DJ Moore, Romo Dunes, Luther Burden. They've got 2 good tight ends and Colson Loveland, Cole Kmet. Like the Bears are a team whose second half of the season, they're going to make a run. Like they've got some guys. Here's some guys. They've got some guys. And the Bears are, especially their defense, looking like they're gelling. Their defense is gelling. The offense is gelling. This was a much needed win. Also an upset. They were not favored in this game. This was a much needed win to kind of get them going in the right direction. And I think this could be a building block into the future to kind of vault them into a late season, or even possibly at this point mid-season, just stack up some wins. Yes, CeeDee Lamb got hurt, and it kind of made it easier for the Cowboys to defend on offense, but they were still doing what they needed to do on their offense towards the Cowboys defense. So it was good to see the Bears actually get in the win column because they're a team that I really believe in. Will they make noise in the postseason? I don't think they'll make too much noise in the postseason. But this is a team who, going forward and in the future, I think is going to be really, really good. That whole division in general is going to be solid. Scarily. I say scarily solid, but I should just say that division is going to be scary. Cowboys, they're struggling. Between Dak Prescott, their passing game. I know Jake Ferguson put up crazy numbers. George Pickens had himself a game. Javonte Williams has been looking like a great pickup for them. It's like a classic Jerry move. Get a guy and he just flourishes. But Javonte Williams looks healthy. He looks great. But you know what doesn't look great? The Cowboys team. And you wonder if that Micah Parsons trade kind of did a lot for them mentally. Because think about it, on the human aspect side. In the locker room, Micah Parsons is a guy who, he was easily their best player on the team. He's made plays he's literally been their engine When you need somebody to make a play, Micah Parsons is there. And they don't have that guy anymore. And you see that he immediately, once he got put onto this Packers team, he injected them with life. And this Packers team is literally just like catapulted into being borderline elite, if not already being elite, just because of Micah Parsons. Like, you see they're playing with swagger, they're playing with confidence, and that's something that we see that the Cowboys aren't playing with, and it's demoralizing as a player, because it's like you just traded away the best defensive player in the league, arguably, in the middle of his prime, and it's like over a contract situation. And at that point, it's just like, as a player, you start thinking, well, what more do I have to do? If I'm not the best in my position, if you're some player, like, you're like, I mean, I could be a great player, but I'm not Micah Parsons great. Are you going to pay me? And even just apart from the contract situation, he was a great locker room presence, and you're missing that in there. And it looks like they're clearly missing. He was a leader of this team. He was one of their biggest leaders. And they literally traded him away, and it shows that they're missing him. It really shows that they're missing him. Apart from what he brings to the field, just off the field, camaraderie, leadership, being able to just inject this team with life. It looks like they're missing Micah Parsons a lot. Shout out Matt Jones with the comeback, man. Also, Ricky Pearsall is. We're gonna talk about Ricky Pearsall a little bit. Mac Jones, he did solid. He did solid against the Cardinals. Did lead the late game comeback, and he re-injured his PCL injury that he apparently had sustained in the offseason. And Brock Purdy should be coming back pretty soon, so it's like, you'll probably play through it, but they're like, give us one more game, man. Brock is gonna be back. Just give us one more game. Get some rest, man. But Ricky Pearsall is looking like the first round wide receiver that they drafted. He also had really good tape coming out of college, and he had a slow start to his rookie year. He did get shot. Said that so casually, but yeah, he did get shot in his rookie year, and he had a slow start on to the season, and he ended the season really strong. And he started the season really strong. Fun fact, Ricky Pearsall is currently third in the league in receiving yards. It'll be interesting to see his role in his offense whenever Brandon Ayuk does come back, which could be either week 5 or 6. And it'll be hard to say that Ricky Pearsall is just going to completely disappear, because he's been killing it the first few weeks. He's got 2 100-yard games under his belt. And I think at this point, even before Brandon Ayuk comes back, I think he's shown enough that the passing game offense should run through him until Brandon Ayuk comes back. Brandon Ayuk comes back, they paid him that contract. They're more than likely going to run the offense through Ayuk, but I think Ricky Pearsall has earned himself a spot in this offense, and it might even be a 1A 1B situation. Who knows? But James Conner, man, shout out, man. That he was reliable for the Cardinals, and he unfortunately suffered a season-ending injury. Next man up, Trey Benson. He looks like a solid young guy. If you drafted James Conner, you should have been drafting Trey Benson, because James Conner has had injuries issues in the past. He's a little older up there. Trey Benson was the guy they drafted. He had solid film in college. He made a few plays in the offseason, preseason, even last year. It's hard to say how much of a role he'll have. Maybe they'll even get Amari DiMercato involved a lot more to be the Trey Benson type of role. But I think they'll miss James Conner a bit. He was not even just on the field like Micah Parsons. He was a big locker room guy, you could tell. But the biggest thing here is Marvin Harrison Jr. is really struggling, and one of his biggest strengths in college, which is catching, is his biggest drawback in the NFL. And it's very bizarre. I truly wonder what's going on, and if it's something mentally, or if it's something else. I don't know. But they drafted him to be the number one wide receiver, and while he is the number one wide receiver, he isn't the number one target in this offense. Maybe that's what's affecting, that he's not like the number one guy. But who knows? Again, we're not in these locker rooms. We're not in these meetings. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But I think the MHJ struggles will continue. I think he will clean it up throughout the season. He had a really decent rookie year, and I think he'll have a better season this year. I think that better days are ahead for Marvin Harrison Jr., but it doesn't look good right now. But if the Cardinals continue to struggle, this might be Kyler's last year on the Cardinals. Like, they gave him a contract, but I think after this year they might be able to trade him or deal him off with not really too big of a hit on their cap, and it might just be time for a fresh start for both parties, honestly. I think that Kyler is still a really good quarterback, and he's extremely talented. Kyler Murray is, in terms of what he brings to the table, there's maybe 3 to 4 other quarterbacks in the league who can do what he does. But for some reason, it just hasn't equated to wins for the Cardinals. And you've heard rumors about there being his name circulating in trade rumors, and it's just been like here or there. Hasn't really like blown up or anything, but it's where there's smoke, there's fire. And one has to think that with all the struggles that the Cardinals have had, that there may be some truth to those rumors. And especially if they don't finish with a positive record this season or just flat out miss the playoffs, that won't be a topic of conversation if they should just completely just clean house, start over, and just let's go back to the drawing board. Not completely clean house, like get rid of Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, all the guys that they've drafted, but just maybe they need a clean start or a fresh start at quarterback, fresh pair of eyes and arms back there. Maybe, who knows? I honestly think that both sides do need a fresh start, because for whatever reason, it hasn't worked with Kyler Murray and the Cardinals at all. So it'll be interesting to see if they continue to struggle. I don't think he'll get traded mid-season, but it'll be something to look out for later in the offseason. Last game, Sunday. Waiting all day for Sunday night. I cannot sing. But Chiefs finally get on the win column. And started off, their offense was looking like it's been looking the first few games, but they finally started to get a little semblance of a run game going. Their passing game started to click, and their defense clutched it out with a little bit of help from Russell Wilson. But the Chiefs finally started to look like a team that was starting to get over losing their top 2 wide receivers. And they are getting those top 2 wide receivers back between Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. One thing to note, that Travis Kelce, while he does still make some plays, he really isn't a factor at all in this offense. And you would think that he would be a bigger target, especially with all their wide receivers down. But I think at this point, he's 35 years old. Like, there's only so much more he can do. That physically, like, short yardage only. Like, you see, they usually only use him for short yardage. They may get 1 or 2 shots downfield with him, but they're getting a lot. They're getting their young tight ends involved a lot. I think this will be his last season, regardless of what happened. I truly think that he wanted last season to be his last season, and if they won the Super Bowl, he's going to propose and have a riding off into the sunset, but didn't really quite go the way they wanted it to. So he was just like one last ride. And it generally looks like Patrick Mahomes is like, hey, listen, just give it one more year, and we're really not even gonna like use you too much. We're gonna make sure you try to stay healthy, but let's just one more year. He's like, just give me one more year, Trav. Just give me one more year, Trav. And Travis Kelce, I'm not gonna say he looks done, because whenever he does get the ball, the ones that he hasn't dropped, but the plays that he makes, you can see the vintage Travis Kelce, but he's definitely not the game-changing tight end that he once used to be. I mean, he's 35 years old. Like, he's first gold jacket, 100%. He's done enough in his career to where he's earned that respect, and he is a leader in this locker room. And I feel like the team definitely needed him, and they're going to need him going into the future of this season, because it's looking like it's going to be a rough start to the season. So they're going to need him, not even just on the field, in the locker room, to get these guys' heads on straight. But man, the Chiefs finally got into the win column. Only took them playing the Giants. But I think that they'll definitely come on stronger later into the season once they get their wide receivers back. And it'll be interesting to see if those wide receivers kind of open up the short game more for Travis Kelce to do what he does. But on to the Giants. Last team we're going to talk about. The quarterback situation is very interesting. It's just like they keep dangling Jaxson Dart in front of the fans, just like, hey, first round quarterback, hey. You're not going to get him. Jaxson Dart. Psych. Here's more Russ. And whenever Russ went in, it was just like, wow, you're just not going to even give this guy a pass. There are reports that if Russell Wilson continued to struggle, or struggled in the next few weeks, that he was going to get benched for Jaxson Dart. And we were like, y'all not just see what he did against Cowboys? We see why. Russ looked bad. Week 1, he looked okay. Week 2, he looked better. I'm not going to say he looked great. He looked decent. A lot of those plays were just like Malik Neighbors down there somewhere. Fuck it. But this game, I don't know if he was getting frustrated more with how they were defending Malik Neighbors. But I mean, you're a veteran quarterback. You you can't just get frustrated with how they're defending your wide receiver and just throw a fuck it, chuck it up there, because you were getting your wide receivers hurt. You were throwing damn near picks and throwing picks. You were making too many mistakes and letting them get in your head. I don't know if it was the way they were defending them or the fact that the Giants kept tossing in Jaxson Dart for a few plays. Sometimes it worked, but it was like it messed up Russ's momentum. And I don't know if that was more irritating him. But Russ is struggling. And they're going to go play a team in the Chargers next week who are very familiar with Russ from his time in the Broncos, along with how the Chiefs were. And I think he's going to struggle again. If he struggles just like how he did this game, just as bad, he might get benched next week. Who knows how soon that he will get benched, but if he continues to struggle, I think he will get benched very early. I think he's on a short leash, especially with all the reports of how Jaxson Dart has been playing in practice. They drafted him to be their future, and it's unfortunate for Russ, but it's kind of like you see that they're literally preparing him to be their future. You see, whenever they make a play call, he's got the wristband on and is like practicing making the plays. they're preparing him to be their future. And it for Russ, it's probably tough knowing that no matter how you play this season, good or bad, there's a guy waiting more than likely next year to replace you. So maybe that's why he's not really playing up to the part, because it's literally like no matter how well you play, there's somebody who's going to replace you, whether it be this year or next year. But speaking of being replaced, prayers to Tyrone Tracy. Cam Scatterbo is not even looking like a guy. He's looking like the guy. Like he's playing exactly how he did in college, which is scary because he was a force. Like this guy is 200 plus pounds of just bricks. Didn't have a fast 40. He's not really that fast of a runner, but he's a football player. Like he's a football player, and he looks like a guy that's capable of taking on a full workload in this offense and being able to fully capitalize on it. And I'm ready to see full Cam Scatterbo, honestly. I'm ready to see the Jackson Dart Cam Scatterbo duo, because I think that at this point Russell Wilson is holding back this offense in terms of what they can do. And if he becomes more of a detriment than a help to this team, like I said, he could end up being benched sooner rather than later. And I think he's going to struggle a lot coming against the Chargers defense. So we'll see. But that was all we have for right now. We're going to be back again tomorrow with that Monday review. But hope you guys enjoyed. If you're here this long, this has been a stonker one. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay safe. Spread love. Class is